Hi, this is Joe's Corner 76. I'm going to be discussing the human condition. In order to change it, we have to be involved. Trust. It seems like that's a long-lost concept. We're all isolated in our little social medias, a little down in the basement or somewhere. We're not talking to people. We don't know them. We think we trust them, but we really have no personal involvement. Trust is a thing that's built. It just doesn't occur. And every day when I turn around and look, I find that people don't trust one another. They believe what they see on the social media, but can you really trust it? With AI? With anonymous people posting opinions that they can't back up? They don't quote facts. They just spew. And a lot of you just buy it. Don't trust something like that. You don't trust your politicians. Trust in politicians seems to be at an all-time low. But you know what? You people elected them. So what you got is what you elected. And that fairly vast number that didn't vote, do you really have anything you can say about trust in politicians? You don't have trust in anything because you didn't get involved. I'm telling you, if you want to have trust in your politicians again, you're going to have to look at the issues, study the issues, form an opinion, get in touch with the members of the party you support and tell them. Tell your individual member of parliament, this is what you believe. People don't trust the police. Immigrant families are not used to talking to them. Other people just think we can't trust them, they're a bunch of crooks. I hear people say, well, these cops do this and these cops do that. But you know the funny thing is, soon as something happens to you or your family, all of a sudden you trust the police. I'd like to point out to you that you should have some trust in the police. They're not all bad. And you remember, that's a thin blue line between us and those bad, bad people. You've got to learn again to trust your neighbors, to trust your friends, to trust people you know. But how are you going to do that? You're going to do that by talking to them, seeing what they represent, how they react. Do they fit with your views? Do you know who they are? Have you found out if they're reliable? Do you have people in your family that talk but never back you up? Can you trust them? Can you trust the people that are there for you? You say, oh, I trust my friends. But a lot of people have many acquaintances. And if we're lucky, we have few friends. And if we have a few friends that we can trust, we're blessed. Do you ever look at all the schemes that are out there? Hey, you can make money this way. Hey, you can make money that way. I just don't know how we've lost that little thing called trust in ourselves. A lot of times we used to say, let me think about this. If it sounds too good, it really can't be true. Not today. You see it on Facebook. You see some artificial intelligence that, if you don't notice, you've got a prime minister up there hawking some kind of financial product. Oh, go in for it. You've got people saying, you know what? If you take this medicine, it's going to improve your intelligence. If you take this, it's going to make you grow harder. If you take this, you're going to get rid of the diabetes. Come on, folks. Why are so many people trusting this bullshit? Really? Don't you think If your doctor knew about a pill that could stop Alzheimer's, if they knew about a solution that could cure diabetes, boom, high blood pressure, and anything else, that they would use it. Stop trusting in information that can't be verified from people that are hawking a product that probably doesn't work. Start having some trust in your family doctor again. Have some trust in the medical establishment. They're the ones that can help you. You've got to start doing something today, and it's called critical thinking. When I hear an opinion on Facebook, X, TikTok, even in the news, the first thing I look at is who said it, why did they say it, where did they get their information from? That's an old what, when, where, how, and why. Always been used in journalism. We should be using it today now. You cannot get your news in 180 seconds. There's a lot more behind any of the stories than what they show. They just show you highlights. How did they arrive at that? What's their background investigation? Do they have any credibility? Don't you trust yourself? I think there's so many people are living with self-doubt these days because they don't trust themselves. They're looking for someone that's going to guide them. But believe me, the only person you can start and trust first is yourself. If you don't trust yourself, how can you start looking at other people and trusting them? What I'm looking at today is, let's have a reset. Let's look at our local community. Let's look at the organizations. Let's look at the people we interact with. Let's look at our friends. Let's look at our family. And say, do I trust this, or do I trust them, or do I trust that? If you trust them, it's because they've consistently performed or solved problems on a regular basis. They just don't have bullshit to talk to you about. They actually have solutions. So think about friends. I really know I can talk to this person. They empathize. They have a sense of empathy with me. They understand me. They're there for me. I look at members of my family. Some of them just talk. They never do anything. They might come see me when they want some money or a favor, but other than that, they got no use for me. Do you trust them to pay you back? Do you trust them to be there for you? When you look at the government, you say you don't trust it. But I'm asking you, don't you get what you elect? How involved are you? If you want to trust them, you have to make them trust you. It's a two-way street. If you're in a relationship, one of the most powerful things you can have is trust. Because if you don't have trust, you have absolutely nothing. You're going through the motions. So when you look at relationships, trust. Build trust. When you look at your community, build trust. Trust is not something that's given to you. Trust is a thing you earn. I myself have a lot of skepticism about many things. But I found that if I want to trust something, the first thing I have to do is say, is this too good to be true? If it is, it's not for me. If I hear an opinion that sounds reasonable, I still say to myself, what's behind it? Where did they get their facts? Does this really make sense? Can I form an opinion from this that's going to be based on fact rather than my supposition? In order to do that, I have to know where they got it, why they got it, how they got it, what, where, when, and how. So I'm leaving you with the thought, trust is one of the most valuable things you can have in your life. But you're not going to get it with your eyes closed. You have to go into every situation with your eyes wide open. Because once you have trust, it's wonderful. It means you can rely on that person, that source, that organization. You know they're going to be there for you. You're not going to be looking at fly-by-nighters, 182nd proposals, things like get-rich-quick schemes. You're going to say to yourself, what's going on? Where did they get it? How are they doing it? What's the background? Once you start in being critical of information, not denying it, being critical of it, and proving to yourself, yes, I believe this, or no, I don't. Yes, I can trust this, or no, I can't. What I'm saying is, trust in anything is up to you. First thing you have to do is trust in your ability to look at things and say, I'm smart enough to know when something's not right. Why? Because I'm looking for the answers that satisfy what, why, when, where, and how, that allow me to build trust with that person, with that organization, or with anything else. I hope that I've at least jarred you into saying, I wonder who I can trust and who I can't, and what am I going to do about it? You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Joe's Corner 76, and on X at JPhilosophy76. You can hear me on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple at Joe's Corner 76. Please hit the subscribe button for my YouTube channel, Joe's Corner 76.